Hello, and thanks for coming to another episode of me doing my homework. Today, we are working on the e-commerce backend object rational mapping. So before we get started, you're going to want to make sure that you have installed Insomnia, which is this cool little program right here. We'll get to that in just a minute. You also want to make sure that you have .env installed, Express, MySQL, and SQLize. If you have not done that, you will want to see the documentation. Otherwise, you should just be able to do npm-i and install those programs. Also, after that's been done, you're going to want to seed all of your data here, and we're going to be referring to those routes by these route tags here. So, or route addresses here, excuse me. And so to get started, we're going to go ahead and hit npm start and hit enter. It'll say that the app is now listening. And then we're going to go into Insomnia, and we're just going to go ahead and start with categories. We'll go into category and press send. You can see here that it will go ahead and retrieve all categories. And then if you wanted to get one category by one ID, let's say we wanted to grab dogs, we could do that by just simply changing the ID here and pressing send, and we get dogs category. If we wanted to create a category, we would write in what we would like to create and then press send, and we would have category name with a new ID attached to it. If we wanted to update that category, we simply would write in the ID name up in the address here and then type in the update that you would like to see. And if we go back to category ID and type in 10, then you would see here that bicycles or tricycles has now been updated to bicycles. And then if we wanted to remove that category, we simply type in that ID number here, send, and then when we go to get all categories, press send, and you will see that bicycles is no longer here. So moving on to products, we can see that if you press send, get all products, you would see that you get all of the products here. If you wanted to get a product by one ID, you would just grab that product name. For example, if we wanted to get dog leash, we would just grab that and then go to get by one ID, type in the ID number there, and it will retrieve the product requested. So if you wanted to create a product, you don't need an ID, it will automatically increment, and then you would type in your information here, all separated by a comma, and then press send. And then when you go to get products, you would see that dog bowl is there at the bottom here as ID 13. If you wanted to update a product name to possibly dog toy, maybe change the price here, and then you would need to change everything else. Maybe we can give it a ID number, and so then you would just simply put in the product ID number you would like to update, which is to create under products, excuse me. You don't need an ID number here. You just go ahead and press send. And then when you go to get products, you would see that dog toy now has an ID of 14 and all of the information that we have requested to be updated. So if we wanted to update a product, then we would simply give it the information that it is requesting. Let's say we wanted to put it in the dogs category for ID 14, which is dog toy. Then we would send that request. And then when we go to get products by ID, press 14, send, then we would see that dog toy has been updated. And then if we wanted to remove it, then we simply put in that number there and go to get products, send, and you see that dog toy is no longer listed. So lastly, if we wanted to see all tags, simply press send and you get all of the tags. If you wanted to get one tag, then let's say we wanted to possibly get one, then If it's not able to find the ID that we want, then it would give you this nice little message that it cannot find the tag requested. So I'm going to go back to get tags and find a different tag to grab, which would be probably let's just grab gold. Okay, so if I wanted to get one, then I press send and there is gold. If I wanted to create a new tag called pink, or maybe we could change it to purple, then I would press send and now we have the ID tag of purple. If I wanted to update that ID tag to violet, maybe I didn't really think about the name. Go ahead and press send after changing the ID tag at the top. And then if you wanted to remove that tag because it was a bad field, you just go ahead and press send there. And now the tag is gone. Okay, so thank you so much for coming to my demonstration and hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.